Good morning students and welcome to online teaching session of Academic World School Bimitra. In the last class we discussed addition polymers, condensation polymers. Among condensation polymers we discussed some important polymers, namely polyamides and polyesters. Today we are going to discuss the same topic, that is condensation polymers, its continuation with some more examples. They are: number 1, bakelite; number 2, melamine formaldehyde polymer. With that, condensation polymers gets over, and then we will move to second topic, that is copolymerization, and the fourth topic, that is rubber and types of rubber. Today's first topic is bakelite. It is also known as phenol formaldehyde polymer. This includes two main reagents, namely phenol and formaldehyde. Now we are going to see chemistry of bakelite, which includes preparation of bakelite, properties of bakelite, and then uses of bakelite. Let us see how is bakelite prepared. As far as preparation is concerned, we require two reactants, namely phenol, one reactant, and the other reactant is formaldehyde. Here CHO is functional group of formaldehyde. In the case of benzene ring of phenol, all 5 corners contain one hydrogen atom each. And I have shown 3 hydrogen atoms, 2 hydrogen atoms at ortho position and 1 hydrogen atom at para position, because we are going to see how these 3 hydrogen atoms are replaced by the second reactant. Now, when these two reactants react with each other from benzene ring, that too from its ortho position, this hydrogen atom gets removed and connected to oxygen atom of CH2O. Then it becomes CH2OH. That CH2OH gets connected to carbon atom. That carbon atom from which hydrogen atom was detached. As a result, you will get the first product, this. Its name is, see, OH group is at ortho position with respect to the other OH group, which is lying at the top. So its name begins with ortho, which is abbreviated by O, and OH is called hydroxy. So ortho hydroxy, and CH2 is derived from CH3 group, that means methyl, and ring with OH group is called phenol. This is one product, right? And second product will be like this. Again, from this phenol, one hydrogen atom is removed from para position. That is connected to formaldehyde. As a result, we will get CH2OH, and that CH2OH via carbon atom gets connected to benzene ring at para position with respect to OH group of phenol. So that second product structure is like this. And name of this compound, let us see. Here, both the CH2OH groups are lying at ortho and para positions. Means OH groups and CH2O groups are also there at ortho and para positions. So its name is ortho para. Para means opposite corners, means CH2OH is like exactly opposite to OH group. That is why para. Ortho, para, dihydroxy. Two OH groups are there. Dihydroxy. Two CH2 groups are there which are derived from two methyl groups. Therefore, dimethyl. Now, what is left out? Benzene ring with OH group. So it is phenol. That's how you need to name the compound. Once again, it is ortho para dihydroxy dimethyl phenol. Now, third product. Come back to the reactants. Now, from phenol, all the three hydrogen atoms simultaneously are substituted by three CH2O groups. Means all these three hydrogen atoms are connected to three formaldehyde molecules. As a result, we will get three CH2OH groups which are connected at ortho and para position simultaneously over benzene ring. Then entire structure looks like this. So this is phenol. At ortho position, one CH2OH group. At other ortho position, other CH2OH group. At para position, one CH2OH group. Now how to name this compound? Listen. At ortho position, you have two OH groups, two methylene groups which are derived from two methyl groups. So its name is ortho dihydroxy. Means at ortho positions, two OH groups are there. So ortho dihydroxy dimethyl, because two methylene groups are there, CH2, CH2, which are derived from methyl groups. So ortho dihydroxy dimethyl. Now come to para position. Para hydroxy methyl phenol. That's how you need to remember. Means how to name the compound based on its structure. Here you have altogether three benzene rings, and here you have only one benzene ring. So to balance it, we write 3 here. Second point, side chains. If you observe, there are 6 carbon atoms. One carbon atom in one CH2OH group, right? Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 6 carbon atoms. And second reactant has only one carbon atom. To make it 6, we will multiply with 6. Now entire equation is balanced, right? Now from this structure, what is required to us is this structure, ortho-hydroxy methyl phenol. From that, we will see how Novolac compound is obtained. From Novolac, we will get Bakelite. Now let us see the first compound formed, that is ortho-hydroxy methyl phenol. This was the first product, that is ortho-hydroxy methyl phenol. To this, when few drops of acid HCl, H2SO4 H plus or hydronium ion H3O plus is added, then this compound undergoes some changes. As a result, we will get Novolac, wherein we have 3 benzene rings. So first we will show 3 benzene rings. And OH groups as usual, as in the reactant. And on one side we have CH2OH, means here. And here we will have hydrogen. That hydrogen and this OH gets removed in the form of water. That means in between this CH2 group will come. Again here also CH2. On the other side CH2. Here also CH2. That's all. This is called Novolac. This is very important substance. Once Novolac is obtained, from that we can get Bakelite. Now let us see how is Bakelite formed from Novolac. Here we have 3 benzene rings. Here only 1. So you multiply whole thing with 3. Automatically it gets balanced. Now let us see from Novolac how we are going to get Bakelite. Now what you need to do is Novolac structure you show as it is without any change. Keep valency of carbon while showing the structure. This is Novolac. Now what you are going to do is same Novolac structure you are going to show upside down. So again exactly below benzene rings. Show 3 more benzene rings. Right? So when this is made upside down, OH group will come down in this way. Now with respect to this OH group, at meta position, meta means this, show CH2 group and connect to other benzene rings, same way, in between the other 2 benzene rings. And at the end also methylene groups. And in between 2 benzene rings, you show methene or methylene group. Here, while showing the bonds, you have to be very careful because both the bonds or in between both the bonds there must be carbon atom. This is nothing but structure of Bakelite. This can be asked for 1 mark. So to draw entire structure without damaging tetravalency of carbon, you should remember how phenol and formaldehyde are going to react, they are going to give Novolac. From Novolac, how can Bakelite be drawn without any error? This is what you need to remember. Now, second part of chemistry of Bakelite. First part is preparation. Second part is properties. What are the properties? Number 1. Bakelite is poor conductor of heat and electricity. This is first property. Right. Next property is it cannot be fused upon heating. Based on these properties, Bakelite is used in making up handles of utensils. Example, handle of a cooker. Number 2, it is poor conductor of heat, therefore it is used in making up handle of utensil, means poor conductor of electricity as well as heat. This property is used in making up handles of utensils. Next property is it cannot be fused upon heating, therefore it is used in making of good quality combs. So chemistry of Bakelite included preparation, properties and uses. Now we will move to chemistry of the second compound, that is melamine formaldehyde resin. Children, the name itself is informative. Melamine formaldehyde polymer contains two micromolecules. One is melamine, second one is formaldehyde. So that polymer is melamine formaldehyde polymer. We are going to see the chemistry of this polymer. As usual, it includes preparation of that polymer. Let us see how is it prepared. In order to prepare it, we require two micromolecules or two monomers. They are melamine and formaldehyde. How to draw structure of melamine? That is very important. First, show six-sided figure with gaps in between the two lines. Do not join both the lines. And show pi bond wherever you require. Once you show, alternative to that, two more pi bonds you have to show. Over. Next, this structure contains three nitrogen atoms and three amine functional groups. Three nitrogen atoms should be shown exactly between the bonds. I will show you one nitrogen atom. See, it is like this. Alternative to that, two more nitrogen atoms. Over. Next, three amine groups. Amine group is NH2. Nitrogen atom of NH2 should not be shown in between the bonds, outside the bond. That means where single and double bond are lying very close to each other, there one carbon atom is there. That's what it implies. And there you show one NH2 group. And alternative to that, again NH2 group. Again alternative to that, NH2 group. That's it. This can be asked for 1 mark. This is melamine. Next is formaldehyde. HCHO, its formula, and we can write this in another way also. HCHO we can write R CH2O. See, H CH. Two hydrogen atoms, one carbon atom, one oxygen atom. So that is formaldehyde. Its IUPAC name is methanol. And here you remember, if you want, you can show NH2 like this, or you can show in this way also. If you want to show removal of one hydrogen atom from this, so you can show NH2 directly or NH. Now out of this, one hydrogen atom is shifted to oxygen atom of methanol, AL. Methanol, not methanol. Methanol or formaldehyde. As a result, we will get CH2OH. That CH2OH via its carbon atom gets linked to NH. As a result, we will get the product of this type. This is that product. Its name is resin intermediate. From this resin intermediate, we are going to get the polymer. How is that polymer yielded? Let us see. Here you need to remember melamine structure, formaldehyde composition. This formaldehyde composition you can show like this also. HCHO, wherein CHO is functional group of aldehyde. As a result, we will get resin intermediate. Now, from this resin intermediate, how we are going to get melamine formaldehyde polymer? Let us see. Again, same structure. we are going to show in this way. Imagine we have taken n number of these monomers, right? Then we will get polymer in this way. This is melamine formaldehyde polymer. So from this we are going to remove n number of OH groups and n number of hydrogen atoms from one NH2. At the same time n number of hydrogen atoms of NH2 are removed. As a result, we will get the polymer, that is melamine formaldehyde polymer. Next, properties. It has the property called toughness. It's a tough substance, means it cannot be broken easily. That is the important property. Therefore, it is used in making of unbreakable crockery. That is the use. Crockery means pots or cups which are made up of china clay. That is about chemistry of melamine formaldehyde polymer. Right. That is about condensation, polymers, continuation. That is today's first topic over. Now, let us see today's second topic, that is copolymerization. Co means different. Right. So, second topic, copolymerization. Co means different. Means in this polymerization reaction, we are going to have two different monomers. In your syllabus, under copolymerization, what is included is Buna-S. So, we are going to see the properties, uses and preparation of Buna-S. Concept, let us see once again. Copolymerization means it is a polymerization reaction where two different types of monomers are involved. If same type of monomers are involved, then it is said to be homopolymerization. So in copolymerization, we should have two different monomers. If you take Buna-S, then the two different monomers are, first one, 1,3-butadiene. 1, 2, 3, 4. When numbers are given in this way, after first and third carbon atom, we have two double bonds, and it is derived from butane. Therefore, 1,3-butadiene. Children, you should know where comma and hyphen should be kept, as and when you are going to show the numbers representing double bonds or unsaturated property in the main reactant. When this 1,3-butadiene reacts with styrene. Styrene means benzene ring with CH double bond CH2. These are the two monomers. So we write N on either sides. When these two react with each other, we are going to get Buna-S. That Buna-S looks like this in its structure. First let me show the structure, thereafter I will check tetravalence of each carbon atom. This is the polymer. Its name is butadiene styrene polymer, and this side second reactant is styrene, right? And this butadiene styrene has both the monomers in it, namely butadiene, that is 1,3-butadiene, and then styrene, right? And as far as property is concerned, it's a hard mass, right? Therefore, that is the property. Therefore, it is used in making of auto tires. Number 2, it is used, first one is it is used in making of auto tires. Second one is it is used in making of footwear components. That's about chemistry of copolymer, that is butadiene styrene polymer, right? Next, after this we have third topic, that is rubber. Third topic is rubber. In this rubber, we have two varieties. One is natural rubber, and second one is vulcanized rubber. First, let us see the natural rubber. This natural rubber is obtained from latex. Right? This latex is obtained from rubber tree. And these rubber trees are there in large quantity in Sri Lanka, India, Indonesia, and South America. Right? From these countries, we can get rubber trees from these countries, and from those rubber trees, particularly from the bark of the rubber tree, this latex is obtained. Now let us see what does this latex contain. Latex contains 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene, that is CH2, CH2, and this is CH3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, here 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So its name is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. This is IUPAC name. Common name it has, that is isoprene. And this isoprene is monomer. And how we are going to get its what do you call polymer? Let us see. Same structure I am going to show in a different way, like this. CH3 and this CH2 I will show down in this way, and these two carbon atoms are connected to one carbon, that in turn is connected to CH, right? And that H I am going to show in this way, and CH2 here in this way. Now to satisfy the valency, I show 1 pi bond. This is nothing but isoprene unit. Now, same isoprene unit I am going to show upside down in this way. Means CH2 will come up. Means in this way, CH2, right? And here CH3, and then C double bond C, like this. Right? And then here CH2 and here H. Here you need to remember one thing. If you want to show this in this way, it is up to you. If it is shown like that, you will get here 2. Here CH3. It is up to you. Now these two carbon atoms will attract each other and bond is resulted. Right? And here CH2, its valence is not satisfied. So we will show one wiggle mark. Means continuation. And here also, valence of this carbon is not satisfied, so we will show one bond in the form of wiggle mark. Now, this shows continuation of isoprene units linked to each other. Now, this is known as polyisoprene. It is nothing but natural rubber. And here the bond line between two CH2 groups is very, very weak. Therefore, this substance will have the property called elasticity. So, it is elastic in nature, or it exhibits elasticity property. Right? And because of this property and because of this very weak bond, whenever temperature is high, if temperature is high, then the substance will become soft. Number 2, if temperature is low, then the substance becomes brittle. And moreover, it has third property, that is water absorption property. These are the three important physical properties this polyisoprene or natural rubber will have. Therefore, these three properties we have to alter in order to make it very hard. That is called vulcanized rubber. Once again, before going to wind up, in this natural rubber, which is nothing but the first type of rubber, we have the monomer, that is isoprene. It is nothing but 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. When this undergoes polymerization, we will get polyisoprene or natural rubber. And structure of that natural rubber is this. And this natural rubber has very weak bonds between the two methylene groups of isoprene units. Because of that very, very weak van der Waals attractive force or very, very weak bond, that substance exhibits elasticity or it has elastic nature. Next, it has three important physical properties. That is, at high temperature it becomes soft, and at low temperature, if we use it, it becomes pieces. Means shows brittle nature. Moreover, it has water absorption capacity. These are the three physical properties exhibited by the natural rubber or polyisoprene polymer. So dear children, you might have noted down the important properties of today's topics. Watch this video, and today or tomorrow the assignment pertaining to this will be uploaded. Answer the questions of those assignments and forward it to me at the earliest. Thank you, children.